Right now, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump go head-to-head in a presidential debate. What the candidates said, plus reaction from political experts. Plus, inflation and the economy remain a top issue for voters across the nation. How local businesses are handling the rise in costs. And a new proposal on the table for Madison's budget, what the city's mayor is doing to ease the burden on taxpayers. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Well, exactly 8 weeks before Election Day, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump facing off for the first and probably the only debate of the 2024 presidential cycle. Both candidates answering questions on various issues like abortion, the border, and the economy. We have team coverage covering tonight's debate. For more on what was said, let's first go to News 3 Now's Arman Rahman. Arman?
Eric, the candidates, they showcased very starkly different visions for the country as they met, like you said, for perhaps their only debate before November. Let's get right to it. Right off the debate, the candidates started discussing the economy, namely, if they think it's gotten better over the past 4 years. Kamala Harris, vice president, right now pointed to what Trump's tariffs-heavy plan would do. Let's see what the candidates had to say. All right, well, you can head over to channel3000.com for a full live fact check of the debate as it happened. Eric?
Armand, thank you. And during tonight's debate, several watch parties were set up all across the state, and that included the Urban League of Greater Madison hosting one. Our Jalen Banks is live where that watch party happened, and he heard from several people to get their thoughts on the debate tonight. Jalen?
Eric, as you just mentioned, watch parties all throughout southern Wisconsin, especially here throughout the greater Madison area. Yes, I was here at the watch party here at the Urban League of Greater Madison. Tons of audible reactions as both candidates gave their responses and their rebuttals throughout the evening. I was able to speak with I was able to speak with spectators throughout the evening, local voters here in Madison, on their thoughts and what they wanted to hear from both candidates this evening. And joining me right now is Derek Smith, who is a voter here in Wisconsin and was here at the watch party. So, Mr. Smith, we spoke earlier, and you said you wanted to hear the truth, and you said you wanted to hear policy from both candidates. Do you believe that you were able to get what you wanted out of the debate from both candidates this evening?
I'm not sure from both candidates. For some, I think the policies were a little lax on both sides. Not so much from the vice president, but it's an opportunity to be in a sighting like this, to be in a country that we can have this kind of debate.
You said that, there were certain policies that may not have been touched on as much as you would have wanted it to be. What were those policies that you wish you would have heard more from the two candidates?
I think more about the economy, more details on the policies. I think that some of them were lax. I think that one of the candidates has a very good handle on what she can do. But again, I'd like to have seen more detail on that.
What were some of the policies that you felt as if they did touch up as far as detail this evening?
I think the vice president did a nice job talking about her foreign policy a little bit and about the ability for women to control their own bodies. I think those were great.
All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Again, this is just one of many voters throughout southern Wisconsin as to whether or not this debate solidified or changed some opinions on the candidates. That remains to be seen as we head into Election Day coming up in November, which is less than 60 days away now. But for now, reporting at the Urban League of Greater Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. Former President Trump and Vice President Harris were vying tonight to win over voters across the nation. And now some political experts are weighing in on the candidates' performance. News 3 Now political reporter Will Keneally is with Brandon Scholes and Dave Cheslevich with their reactions to tonight's debate. Will?
Yeah, Eric, that's right. So that's been a common theme that we've been talking about, kind of light on policy, maybe perhaps a little bit more performative, certainly throughout. Did anybody emerge as a clear winner through tonight's debate?
I think you have to give Harris the edge because she got under Trump's skin, as Dave has mentioned a number of times, and Trump in the middle of that debate kind of went off into his rally kind of speech. Both started well in the beginning on the economy and similar issues. It was a good debate after they shook hands, kind of got that middle thing, and then they finished out okay, but I don't know that they moved the needle on the undecided people. They certainly fortified their base.
I think Harris did well. I mean, I think she had a show that she could be commander-in-chief, and clearly she did that. She stood toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. She certainly attacked, but also shared her own vision. very strong on the abortion issue. So I agree with Brandon. There was no knockout blow, but I think it was a very good night for Harris.
Well, we'll delve later into the issues later in the show, but for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Eric.
All right, Will, thank you. And for more on the presidential debate between Vice President Harris and former President Trump, you can head to channel3000.com. And there, our digital team spent the evening fact-checking on what both candidates had to say tonight. Again, you can find that on the front page at channel3000.com. Above normal temperatures sticking around a bit longer. Let's check your first warn forecast. Here's meteorologist Jacob Madison on the patio. Jacob?
Thanks, Eric. Temperatures are actually going to continue to get warmer the next couple of days, but looking at the current conditions, 72 degrees in Madison, mostly cloudy skies. It feels very comfortable out here, but there are a few light showers across southern Wisconsin. Nothing too dramatic, but we really haven't seen any drops of rainfall in the last couple of days. Right now, the most consistent rainfall is in eastern Dane County, moving into Jefferson County. Again, not a huge deal, but considering this is the first rainfall we've seen since last week. Now, looking at the forecast going forward throughout the night, we're going to continue to see some cloudy skies, maybe some light sprinkles. By the time we get to around sunrise, we are going to see the clouds clear out, and tomorrow is going to be a very sunny day. Overnight will drop into the 50s, but as I mentioned, tomorrow and Thursday will be even warmer. I'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. In our 3 for the People coverage now, the economy and inflation continue to be on the minds of people headed into the presidential election, including small business owners. News 3 Now's Kyrian Lee spoke to a small business owner who is living through it and trying to navigate keeping her business afloat.
In 2018, Awa Sibi took a leap of faith and launched her own small business, Lady Lis de Awa. Since then, she has been serving the Madison community authentic West African cuisine.
It's a cultural and ethnic space. It's different from everything you're used to.
For years, Sibi has been functioning as a caterer and appearing at festivals. But in May of this year, Sibi opened a physical restaurant space and currently is under a soft launch. And with it has come some obstacles.
Once we do our grand opening, we'll be changing the prices to what actually it should be so we can make profit off of it. Because we haven't been making profit. We're just keeping the lights on.
While the recent Bureau of Labor Statistics show inflation is cooling, CB says it has been a challenge navigating it as a small business owner.
Because you want to be fair in your pricing, but you also have everything that you have to account for, which is like labor, overhead and things like that.
To upkeep the quality of the food, a lot of CB's products are halal and shipped from outside of the U.S., which adds up. She says items as simple as a bottle of oil have fluctuated between $19 to $48.
I used to sell a plate of food at $12. Back then, I also wasn't making profit, but I wanted to be known first. And then once people knew the quality of the food, they were ready to pay anything. So I bumped my prices from 12 to 15 to 18 to 25 a plate.
A recent poll from the National Federation of Independent Business shows inflation remains the main issue among small business owners, with 25% reporting it as their single most important problem in operating their business. Meanwhile, on the campaign trail, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris rolled out her plan to help small businesses. Vice President Harris is proposing expansion of small business tax deduction for startup expenses from $5,000 to $50,000. She did not outline the price on this plan, and it would need approval by Congress.
I want to see 25 million new small business applications by the end of my first term.
Former President Donald Trump hasn't directly appealed to small businesses, but his promises include lowering prices, boosting economic growth, ending taxes on tips and Social Security benefits, imposing tariffs and tax penalties on companies that don't produce in the U.S., and lowering the corporate tax rate to 15%.
Your long economic nightmare will very soon be over. It's going to be over. Going to turn it around.
For small business owners like CB, she says no matter who wins the presidential race, she just doesn't want to see prices go any higher.
So I don't want to compromise on the taste or quality of what I'm getting. I still want to get fresh ingredients and I want to get them halal and all these things. But if there's any way that we can have a price that works for us so that at least we could be making profit without having to impose these crazy prices to customers.
That was our Kyrian Lee reporting. City budget season is here. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway announcing her plan for what the city will spend on infrastructure projects next year. Our Braden Ross has more on what you need to know about the mayor's capital budget.
The time has come for the city of Madison to decide how it will spend your tax dollars next year. Tuesday, we got the first part of that proposal. Here's what you need to know about it.
In a typical year, when I would present a capital budget, I would be sharing highlights of the investments that we're most excited about in the budget. But this is not your typical year.
The Madison budget made headlines this year, but not the kind city leadership likes.
The structural deficit that is in the operating budget and the upcoming referendum are overshadowing our capital investments.
There are two parts to the city budget every year. The capital budget, that's what was announced today, pays for infrastructure and building projects in the city. The operating budget pays for city staff and services, and it's facing a $22 million deficit.
Funding from the capital budget cannot be transferred to the operating budget. So we could not make up the gap in the operating budget just by not building a new street or a new fire station or a new facility.
But the mayor says she is trying to do what she can to reduce taxpayer impacts in the capital budget while asking voters to approve that extra $22 million in a referendum.
This year, our capital budget is $12.4 million smaller than last year. This will help to reduce the impact of debt service on the taxpayers.
She also says some of the proposals in the capital budget, like consolidating services into one building rather than multiple, are aimed at limiting future staffing costs that would come out of that operating budget. City staff will hold a virtual Ask Me Anything meeting at 5:30 on Wednesday night to answer all of your questions about the budget. For now, reporting in Madison, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
And still ahead on News 3 Now at 10, we'll check back in with Jacob. A complete look at the forecast. Plus, political experts Dave Cheslevich and Brandon Scholes return for a review of tonight's presidential debate, what they thought about it, who they believe came out on top.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. I just want to make with special guest, The Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Looking for the best value in contact lenses? At Stanton Optical, score an annual supply of AccuView Oasis plus a free contact lens eye exam for only $189. The numbers are in. At Stanton Optical, you save a whopping $280. You're not going to find a better deal with the other guys. Now that's what I call value. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
I was a Kamala Harris supporter. That changed after an illegal alien murdered my son, running him over, then driving back and forth over Drew's body 3 times. The man who killed my son had been arrested previously, but Kamala Harris let him go. As San Francisco's DA, Kamala was soft on crime. As a senator, she supported releasing criminal aliens back into our neighborhoods. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Moving forward in your community, lending helping hands, spotlighting the people, telling the stories, warning you first. Your local news source for nearly 70 years. News 3 Now, moving forward. You're watching News 3 Now at 10, moving forward.
Well, Vice President Harris and former President Trump facing off for the first and possibly only time at the 2024 presidential cycle. Both candidates answering questions on various issues. Our debate coverage continues now with News 3 Now's Arman Rahman. Arman?
Yeah, Eric, like we said earlier, the candidates, they showcase starkly different visions for the country as they met for perhaps their only debate before November. The first issue that they got off to right off the bat was the economy, namely if they think it's gotten better over the past 4 years. And while not answering the question directly, Vice President Harris pointed to what Trump sales tax would do. Take a look.
Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
Another big point both candidates came back to, regardless of the question they were posed, was immigration. Former President Trump brought up internet rumors about Venezuelan migrants allegedly coming into Springfield, Ohio, and other towns and eating pets. The debate moderators say they contacted city officials there about the claims.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
And again, you can head over to channel3000.com for a full live fact check of the debate as it happened.
Arman, thank you. Both candidates, of course, looking to convince the American people which one should run our country. For more analysis on the debate, we check back in with political reporter Will Keneally, joined by political experts Brandon Scholes and Dave Cheslevich for a review of tonight's debate. Will?
That's right. So we actually want to talk right about that economy soundbite that we heard just a couple moments ago. That's certainly an issue that impacts people like right in the pocketbooks. Did candidates do enough to sway voters on that issue?
I don't think so, because I think people, they all know you want to lower prices and you want to do something, and Harris's opportunity economy, but what does it mean? What is going to impact me directly as a consumer paying those prices? Certainly the candidates made the point, they get it, they know people are hurting, they know this is one of the #1 issues that's going to decide the election, but it wasn't enough. There wasn't enough detail. There hardly any detail. There was some good sound bites and lines, but I don't think there was enough detail to send anybody away from this debate going, that's the plan that's going to work.
Sounds like voters might be entrenched in their old positions.
Well, they're very entrenched, and really, we're talking about trying to win over maybe 100,000 votes out of 140 million people who are going to vote. It could come down to about 100,000 votes in 3 or 4 states. That's what it's come down to the last 2 elections. So I really think both candidates, especially Harris, were really trying to gear their comments at those people. And that's why she talked about the opportunity economy. That's why she talked about the tariffs in terms of being a sales tax. So I think she did score some points there. But Brandon's right. There was very little substance on the economy or on a lot of other issues.
Yeah, and we saw in some of those sound bites just kind of the roller coaster that they went on. Do you think that we'll have a second debate with these two?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously it's up to the campaigns, but everything I'm hearing is that there won't be a second debate. I don't think either candidate necessarily sees an advantage in it. Usually it's the challengers, the person running behind, who wants the debate. Well, they're running in a dead heat. So I'd be surprised if either campaign asked for another debate.
Yeah, I agree with Dave. I mean, whoever loses a debate needs that other opportunity, because if you look at what happens between now and the election day for the next 56 days, other than rallies and campaign events and what they've been doing so far, there's nothing really out there that's a defining moment for the rest of this election. So it's going to be up to the campaigns to reach down to Dave talking about the 100,000 people that are going to make this decision, the undecideds, the ticket splitters, those folks. They're going to have to find them. They may have to go knock on their doors to get them to vote. But another debate, I wouldn't rule it out totally, because if they get to the point where it's a toss-up, somebody needs something, it's always an option out there.
Well, I didn't hear enough about Hannibal Lecter in this debate, and I think we need more Hannibal Lecter.
And other characters.
You know? Yeah, we did hear about eating pets.
We got all sorts of stuff that came under this debate.
So we're post the Democratic National Convention, where presumably Democrats would have the momentum. Is that fair to say Harris emerged with the momentum out of this debate still?
I don't think so. I think in this last week, you know, after the debate, yeah, the Democrats had tons of mo going on. But in the last week, maybe Harris was off the trail a little bit. You just got this sense that there was maybe a little bit of a pause. Trump was still out there doing his rallies. You're probably going to see some numbers that maybe make this race a little closer. So I don't know that there was a big boost for her. Trump is going to take a little bit of a hit for that you know, slugfest in the middle of the debate, and then they move on.
I think Harris did well, and I think she'll get a little bit of a bump out of this.
Well, wonderful. Thank you both. We really appreciate it. We will continue to check in heading into November. But for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Eric.
Will, Dave, Brandon, thank you so much. And we want to turn things over to weather now. Temperatures getting warmer over the next couple of days. Jacob rejoins us once again with the complete forecast.
Thanks, Eric. Temperatures tomorrow, we'll see plenty of sunshine. Highs will be in the middle 80s. And then for Thursday, they're actually going to be even warmer. We're going to continue to see sunshine, but highs will be in the upper 80s. Now, looking at the rainfall forecast, we are going to see clouds increase by the time we get to Friday. And this is going to be the remnants from Hurricane Francine moving further north. Again, plenty of cloud cover Friday, but not a lot of rainfall. Once we get into the overnight hours Friday, we may start to see some showers form, especially west of Madison. And throughout the weekend, we're going to continue to see the chance of rainfall, but it looks like the heaviest, again, will stay to the west of Madison, areas east. At this point in time, not expect to see rainfall, but the track of this rain could still change as it is still several days out. Now, the peak time for the rainfall will be Sunday, especially kind of early in the day on Sunday. Later in the day, it looks like it's really going to push off to the west and stay out near Iowa. And throughout the day on Monday, we are expected to be dry with maybe some showers out in Iowa as well. But overall, a chance of rain will return over the weekend. But at this point in time, it's still a bit unclear as to which areas will see the heaviest rain. Right now, it does look like it will be west of Madison, but the confidence is still fairly low on that. As far as temperatures, middle 80s for Thursday, and then right around 80 for highs through the end of this week and beginning of next week. Maybe a little bit warmer towards the end of next week as the rain chances may increase by next Friday. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped. So please, think about me when you vote. I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away, even in cases of rape or incest.
Even to travel to get an abortion.
Please, think about me.
You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Now women are being refused life-saving care at hospitals. And politicians are trying to ban birth control. Please, think about me. My parents call me their miracle daughter because I was born with IVF.
But IVF could be banned too.
Do they think we're less than human?
Do they think we can't make decisions about our own bodies? About our own lives? When you vote, please think about me.
And me.
And me.
Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade, he couldn't care less.
We're cranking up the voltage, Wisconsin. Lottery retailers all around the state are lighting up with the latest limited time offer. It's Badger 5, 5 will get you 6. During the month of September, players who buy a $5 or greater Badger 5 ticket will receive a bonus ticket for the next drawing of Badger 5. This electric offer is only available for a limited time and only at Wisconsin lottery retailers.
When replacing your windows, you want them to be built by the best and backed by the best. That's what you'll get with replacement windows only available from Renewal by Andersen. When you choose Renewal by Andersen at Wanakee Remodeling, you're not getting a one-size-fits-all product. From design and sales to manufacturing, installation, and service, we own the entire process. This month, buy 2 windows, get the third 60% off, plus 12 months no-interest financing when you purchase 3 or more windows. Visit WanakeeRemodeling.com for more details.
Insurance costs going up? Erie Insurance has great coverages, rates, and claim service. And your rates won't increase because of celebrity advertising campaigns or sports stadium sponsorships. Call Affordable Insurance Solutions for your auto, home, or business quote and see what Erie Insurance could do for you.
Arby's is full of choices. Quick, you can get your favorite stuff 3 for $5. Incredible value for a limited time. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
For the first time this season, Wisconsin volleyball is back at the Fieldhouse, and you could say it felt good to be home for the Badgers. Kelly Sheffield's squad welcomed UW-Milwaukee to Madison, a team they haven't lost to since 1999. And if it was up to Devin Robinson, that wasn't going to change today. Charlie Furbringer puts it on a platter for Robinson, and she hammers it home for one of her 13 kills. It was all Wisconsin early and all Wisconsin late. Later in the match, the Badgers set up their captain, Yulia Ozo, and she paints the back line for the point. Game high, 14 kills from her. Badgers bring out the brooms. Wisconsin wins it in straight sets. It's the game everybody circled once their schedule was released. It's Alabama week. The Tide come to Madison as the 4th-ranked team in the nation. It's the first time Wisconsin has hosted a top-5 team in non-conference play since 1989. The Badgers enter as underdogs on Saturday, but they're looking forward to proving to the rest of the college football world that they can play with the nation's best.
That you came here for, play teams like Bama. Like it's an amazing opportunity to see where you are on the measuring stick. Like I said, it's like a top 4 team in the country. Like this is an amazing opportunity for us, and we're excited.
This is definitely the type of games you grow up kind of dreaming about playing. You know, you're going up against the blue bloods of college football. You know, the teams that have always been good, and I look forward to that opportunity to play against them. Not only to see where I'm at as a player, but just seeing where this team at.
And we'll be back after this.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde insulted Wisconsin seniors.
Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
What a jerk. He attacked those who are overweight.
Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
He called farmers lazy.
Look at the old physical toil. Now you're largely driving around a tractor.
This guy doesn't have a clue. Eric Hovde has insulted just about everyone.
What's wrong with this guy?
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO.
They say post it or it didn't happen. But out here, in the places we were made for, you'll have to take our word for it. Find somewhere the internet's never been. With a family of Broncos designed to get you there.
Lease a new Ford Bronco Sport for $299 a month for 36 months, only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Get an 11% rebate from Menards. Update your home's exterior with Cedar Creek vinyl siding. This easy-to-install, low-maintenance siding withstands the elements and is available in 16 color options. Get the last roof you'll ever need with Steel Roofing. It offers superior wind and hail resistance and is available in cut-to-your-length panels. Get an 11% rebate on everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Action! Get up to 60% off list prices on hundreds of items at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Hurry, it's the final days. Just $3.95 to shake up your living room with a fresh new look. Get this power recliner for a steal, an upholstered bed in 2 colors, or a super padded, family-friendly reclining sectional. And of course, totally free doorstep shipping with no minimum.
Up to 60% off at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture. Do not miss this one.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. You got a bunch of loudmouth, preening politicians. It's absolute chaos. I'm Derek Van Orden, and after 26 years as a Navy SEAL, there's a few things that I learned. You stay on mission, you know what you're fighting for, and sometimes you gotta get a little dirty to finish the job. Let's go, kids. Not you. Not you. You. Let's go. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Donate kids' winter coats at Clinky Cleaners during Coats for Kids.
And Jacob's back. I kind of wish that Alabama would come in November when it's like 20 degrees. See if they can handle that.
Yeah, I
agree. Pretty warm weather coming our way.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cloudy over the weekend. Likely going to remain mostly dry during the game. If it does rain, it will be pretty light. Better chance of rain on Sunday. But temperatures, they're going to remain above average. Average high this time of year in the middle 70s. We're going to be right around 80 at least for the next 10 days. So summer certainly not over yet.
The Tuscaloosa weather temperatures.
Right.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10, folks. Have a great night.